She is Frances Card. She's the founder of the Frances Card Consultancy, but actually she has an extraordinary range of expertise and has worked with some of the most high-profile fashion clients in the world, including people like Harvey Nichols, Amanda Wakely, Bowden, East Meets West, and she's also COO of Matches Fashion. Was non-executive director of the e-commerce site mywardrobe.com, and she was also amazingly involved with the relaunch of Liberty of London and its international and British relaunch. She also has a number of really admirable charity involvements, including Industry London, and she's involved with a thing called the Sorority, which is a wonderful networking organisation for women. Frances lastly works with the London College of Fashion. She has an extraordinary amount of things to say. We are so delighted to welcome. I'll just turn it over to you. Thank you, Frances.
Well, thank you so much. And what a lovely, lovely introduction. One wouldn't wish for anything more. I'm so pleased to be here, and I'm so pleased to have all of you here. Pulse is such an interesting melting pot of so many different brands, and I think that's so stunning to have something like this in London. So I think we're very privileged. Well, I feel very privileged to be here. I'm here to talk about the long haul. I'm here to talk about how do businesses do a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's very interesting because I generally consult on businesses for lots of different reasons, but one of the biggest things is how do we make it better? Sometimes it's startup, sometimes it's how we make it better, and sometimes it is about how we exit. And I think that's really the way my talk will be. Let's start at the end and go back to the beginning. So the end is whenever you have a business, I think you have to think very, very soundly about what you want from that business. So for instance, we mentioned Matches. I was with Matches for 3 years, and I ended up being COO. But I was a consultant all the time. But the reason that we went for investment, and you know that Matches is huge now, is because we had a long, hard conversation about how do we give our owners the right end program. So it was about what they wanted at the very end, and the end was, in their view, originally not so big as having investment, but the decision was to take investment, and that was right, and we worked through that and we did that. So I think there's something about whenever you have a business, what do you want your end game to be? Do you want to be doing that for the next 25 years? Do you want to be doing it for the next 5 years? Do you want to sell? Do you want to be the brand owner and own that brand forever? Or do you want to be somebody who is very happy with their lot and just keep everything just moving on? And there's no right decision. That's about all of us personally, about how we run our businesses. I don't make my consultancy bigger than me. I have lots and lots of, and I have Mark Baker here on the front. No, you don't have to say anything. But I have lots of affiliate people around me who help me with my business. But my business is my business. I have a business with you, but that's a separate thing. But I think there's very much at the end is what do you actually want from your business. If we start at the beginning, then I'm sure you know that it is about brand, and brand is huge, and getting your brand identity and making sure that you know yourself, asking yourself all those questions. Who are we? What are we? Who's the customer we want? What have we got to offer? How do we offer that? Those really, really embryonic questions are enormous, and they're hard. And sometimes you can do that on your own, and sometimes you need people to talk to. And we have lots and lots in the retail industry, because I am talking about retail. So in the retail industry, we have lots of people who can help us. And a network of people like that is very good. And if you think about authors now, if you think about authors on, particularly on Kindle, when you buy a book on Kindle, it's quite interesting when you look at how these authors have become relevant, and they've become relevant mostly because. Oh, am I too far? Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Can nobody hear me at all? Seriously? I can't believe that. But obviously not. I wasn't given my mic exercises. But I think that it's really interesting if you can find people to give you a support system, whether it be a networking group, or whether it's just like-minded people, or if it's on LinkedIn and you find somewhere that you can talk to people about bouncing ideas off each other. Really interesting that LVMH have just brought in the concept of putting all their brands on one website. I love that, and I love that because it's right. But you know what? I talked to them about that, oh God, I can't even tell you how many years ago it was. And it wasn't me saying you should do it, it was me making a suggestion. But how brilliant that they've now done it. So I think there's a whole thing about your brand, who you are, talking to other people, making everything happen. Because you have the best advice and you have your best red thread through your business. And that's my next point. So my next point is a red thread. I think that everything you do has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I think everything in business also has this red thread. And this red thread is helping you always go back along the red thread to where you come from. So if you come from a business that, God willing, has a fantastic customer service proposition, you'll always go back to it. And I think that's terribly important. Customer proposition, 100%. So if you start with that, then your middle bit is making it happen, is all of the infrastructure and all of the social media and brand reinforcement and the heart of what you do. And if it's physical, if it's not just online, then I think that physicality has to represent whatever you do, because that will be reinforced 100 times. And you know that because you know this. You've looked at Pulse and you know about Pulse, and Pulse has reinforced itself. It has a carrier bag, it has a presence. It ensures that you always know that Pulse is here, exactly the same as your brands. Moving on to what I would say is the end, is where I started, which is, what do you want from your business? Do you actually want to run your business forever? Do you want to be that person that, ends with your business? Or is there something in you that says, I'd quite like to do this for 5 years, or I'd quite like to segue it off in 3 years. I'd like to have an affiliate business. I'd like to make something different about it. What is it that you really want from your business? So those are the sort of tools that I think are really valuable to all of us that run our businesses. And I run a business with Mark Baker in the front, in the pink jacket. Now, Joan Collins, we went to see Joan Collins. She did actually tell Mark Baker that he looked very fabulous in that pink jacket. It has to be said. But we run a business, or we've just started a business, haven't we, after 35 years of knowing each other, because I'm a dinosaur. And we've started this business because people keep asking us to do things for them. And I run my consultancy, and Mark runs his consultancy. But they want us to help them design own brand, and to be somebody that can manage the whole own brand all the way through the whole critical path of building a business. So we're doing that, and that's great. That's called Myriad Styles, and we will be, well, we've launched it basically, haven't we? But the reason that I'm bringing that up is I think in any business you have to bring in freshness and newness. And my consultancy's been running for 10 years, and I think that that I certainly needed something fresh coming in, and to help my clients. And I wanted to make sure that I was always moving in my head, and that's it. That's the thing. So I'm wondering where I am now. Am I asking questions? Okay, so another thing I'd like to talk about is PR and marketing, and you all know about PR and marketing. I think that it's incredibly important to look at your local marketplace, whatever that is. If you have a store or a business somewhere local, then make sure that you touch point all of those different places. I think it's incredibly important to, wherever possible, try and be a personality within your own place, touch point. And I think it's incredibly important to make sure that you are relevant in your own geographical place as well as globally. Now, globally we can all do, because we all understand the internet. We all understand that we have a enormous marketplace out there, and how fabulous is it that we can actually get out there and deal with it. So everything we do in our social media and everything we do on the internet is important. Every single time we do something, we make something significant, and measuring it is really good. So we need to measure it. We need to measure any traffic that comes to us. We need to look at those Google Analytics. How irritating is that? But we do, and that's something that should be foremost in our minds all the time. But I do think that local is